Hello, I'm Ben Moore, and today I'll be continuing my GCSE chemistry revision series. This video looks at question 2 of the AQA 2013 Higher Tier C1 paper. Question 2. Metals are extracted from their ores. Many copper ores contain only 2% of copper compounds. Copper is now extracted from ores containing a low percentage of copper compounds. Suggest 2 reasons why. Really nice question. It just requires you to think logically, maybe bring in a bit of knowledge from outside of the science lab. The easier to find ores have already been mined, so there are smaller amounts of higher grade ores left in the ground. Industrialization has made copper metal expensive as it's in high demand. Okay, I actually overbuilt this. I probably could have answered that question in 2 lines just using any of these points I've ticked here. You could have also included the idea of improving technology, making it easier to extract metal from lower grade ores. Moving on, we've got chalcocite, an ore of copper containing copper sulfide. The flow diagram shows how copper metal is extracted from chalcocite. Okay, you've got the 2 methods. You've got the more modern one using bioleaching, and you've got the older one which involves crushing it up, putting it through a separator and then heating it in a furnace. Both of them though come back to using electrolysis at the end. Very energy intensive process. It needs lots and lots of electricity. A lot of this is done in places where they've got good cheap electricity from hydroelectric plants, stuff like that. So we have a look at the first question using that diagram. Suggest 1 reason why it's difficult to dispose of the waste rock. Now you could answer this using purely the information in the question. You could say large amounts of waste rock are produced as only 2% of it is usable ore. So you're throwing away vast piles of spoil rock, which can be environmentally damaging. Also, the process of bioleaching and the separation can actually lead to large amounts of copper-containing copper sulfate solution leaking into the water table and poisoning things. So that can be a real problem. You get this from mines as well, a similar process where you've opened up these ore-containing rocks and then actual natural biological organisms come into the mine and break down the rock, and then it seeps out and poisons water supply. So that could be another question if you come across something like that. But you get a mark either talking about leaching or you get a mark talking about large amounts of spoil rock. Okay, for the next one. The reaction in the furnace could cause environmental pollution. Explain how. Sulfur dioxide is produced when copper sulfide reacts with oxygen. Sulfur dioxide causes acid rain. Okay, so when you look at this, what's going in there? You've got copper sulfide and you've got oxygen, you've got a furnace and you've got a waste gas. If you've got a sulfide and you've got oxygen, you are going to get that reaction which produces sulfur dioxide. So be aware of that. You've got acid rain there. You get your 2 marks for either of those 2 points. Next one. The extraction of pure copper is expensive. Give 1 reason why. Large amounts of energy are needed for the furnace and electrolysis. As I said earlier, typically done in places where they've got cheap electricity. If you're using fossil fuels, this would be a double whammy. You'd get lots of carbon dioxide, maybe sulfur dioxide if you're burning coal, so you get lots of pollution. All in all, it's just because you have to pay for your electricity, makes it very expensive. So you get your 1 mark for that. Nice easy question, doesn't really require much other than logical thinking there. Next question. Pure copper is produced by electrolysis of copper sulfate solution. Which electrode do the copper ions move towards? Give a reason for your answer. Okay. Copper ions are copper 2+. They have a positive charge, so they move towards the negative electrode. The negative electrode is called the cathode. Basically, this is where the electrons are going to be coming off so that the positively charged ions can combine with them and they are then reduced to a metal. With that, I generally tend to remember it as cathode being cathode charged parts. That gives you an idea that electrons are coming off that. That's where they're coming into the solution and being transferred over to the anode. Right, the next one. Large areas of land are contaminated with copper compounds. Phytomining can be used to remove these copper compounds from the land. What is used in phytomining to remove copper compounds from the land? This is plants. Phyto is just Latin word meaning plant. So phyto, wherever you see that, is referring to plants. Okay, so you get 1 mark for that. That's just a point you have to learn. It's relatively easy. Just think phytoplankton are sort of green algae and stuff which live in the ocean and they form a basis of the food chain. So wherever you see phyto, it's referring to plants and green things. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of a guide on that. Do ask me any questions you may have in the comments, and I wish you every success in any exams you have. I'll see you soon.